Thanks, John, and thanks to the Media Post crew for having us all here. It's my first time. Hopefully get invited back, but great to have everyone here. Rebecca, great presentation. As a new parent myself with a 14-month-old and a Huggies customer, I can relate with a lot of what you said, even though I'm not the mom. But thanks everyone for the time today. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm George. I work at Attentive. I've been in the email space for quite a long time now, and for those of you that don't know Attentive, we are one of the market leaders in the SMS space, but here to talk to you today about our email product. So we're still fairly new to the email space, but last year we did a survey to 1,000 of our customers just to identify, what's the direction we want to continue to invest from a product roadmap perspective, what are some of the challenges, and also, how do we meet the needs of our customers? And we found that largely the main reason for someone to move platforms is to drive better performance. And when you think about some of the challenges with legacy ESPs is that data tends to be siloed. There lacks ability to easily automate and leverage AI. SMS and email are siloed channels, and support is challenging. It's hard to get sometimes, and I think that's something that Attentive does a really great job of. So with that, our product has been in development for about 4 years now. There was a very intentional way that we rolled it out. Obviously, email is a high consideration purchase. The bar of folks like yourselves is very high of what a basic ESP needs to be able to accomplish. So with that, GA'd last year, have 720 enterprise customers on it. As you can see by the logos up there, quite a few. It kind of runs the gamut from food and beverage to legacy brands, brick and mortar, D2C brands that are high growth on Shopify and CPG. And really it's about the fact that we're the first ESP that's a mobile first platform. So with that, we are able to identify more customers on the site by combining both SMS and email as identifiers. We have a massive data set. We have over 40 billion touch points we constantly ingest and build the models off of with the 9,000 customers that we have. And I think Natalie had said this, I think we have the same belief where the models are one component, but it's really the underlying data that's most critical to leverage that AI. And it's about world-class support. I know there's a couple of customers in the room here of Attentive, so hopefully you can vouch for that. But we know with email, the support component is just as important as the technology itself. Just to break down the way our email product is kind of set up, we do have two core components. We can do full end-to-end campaign emails as well as a standalone triggered email solution. And underlying within that, you get all the great benefits of the Attentive platform. Enterprise grade, 9,000 customers have been around for about 8 years now. And then underlying on top of the platform is that AI component. So that's newer to Attentive's platform, but something we're continuing to invest very heavily in going forward. There's really 4 core pillars, I think, of where the better performance with Attentive email comes from. Part of it is our patented 2-tap opt-in. So as you're paying lots of money to acquire folks, bring them to your site, you want to make sure you're getting them into your own channels like email and SMS. So we make that process as frictionless as possible. We have identification tools by having SMS as one of the key drivers of our platform. It's a highly engaged channel, which allows you to then target more people. I think the other part that sometimes gets lost with identification, naturally, it will allow you to send more trigger-based messages, which perform well. But if you don't identify folks, it's very hard to personalize until they've actually made a purchase. So by stitching that behavior, the product, where they are in their life cycle, it really helps drive that first purchase, as you effectively can't personalize unless you have that level of data, and it's supplemental to what you might be doing in Snowflake or your CDP. Data-driven journeys, a lot of best practices. The other part of being intentional with this team is on the services side. So we've hired lots of folks with email expertise. Our deliverability team consists of folks from SendGrid and ReturnPath. And on the customer success side, similar to how we've built out the SMS practice, we've hired a lot of folks from other ESPs that have done this before. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into an email strategy. As Rebecca just walked through, there's a lot of considerations. So we want to make sure that we help with that people and process side because it's a lot more than just a technology shift. In terms of migration and support, I tend to think we bend over backwards for our customers. So we provide white glove service, we'll build out your creative templates, we'll optimize your journeys, we'll do a deliverability audit. All this is part of the package where you don't have to go to third parties or rely just on your internal teams to do this. We try to make that process as easy as possible. Having been in the email space and going through quite a few of these, migration is not trivial. It's a very high consideration decision. So I think it's really important to get that part right. And we really want to hold your hand through that process. The other thing I want to talk about quickly is just what we're thinking about and building into AI. Most of it is being tested and deployed within the SMS channel first, just because it's an easier channel to test in. It's part of our core engineering team. So as this matures, it's going to be folded into the email channel as well. So things like leveraging AI for even more identification, things like send time AI, which is more than just send time optimization. It's really looking at the individual and understanding not just when should you send them, but what type of message should you send them and when across those two different channels. Brand voice, obviously there's a lot of brands in the room, want to make sure we're speaking to your customers in the way that you want them to be spoken to. Obviously, part of the push and pull with, I think, AI and anything that's automated is it sometimes loses that personal touch. So we want to make sure that we're allowing you to have that in a way that's more scalable than doing it through segmentation only. And then around audiences, speaking of segmentation, proactively identifying good groups to go after. This can be attached to specific people. It could be offer-based. It could be specific product or brand-based if you're a multi-brand retailer. So there's a lot of cool stuff we're building here. I'm super excited about it, and I think it's really going to hopefully make folks' lives easier and continue to drive that better performance, which is core to our values. And yeah, ultimately, we've kind of run the gamut in terms of where we're seeing great performance. A lot of the initial gains tend to come from trigger-based messages, identifying more folks, better personalization. We're also tend to drive great ROI for customers, increasing sessions and traffic to the site. So these are just some of the areas where we're helping clients. Still in the early days here, but I think one other thing just to kind of cap on with being a newer provider is that we can move very quickly. Our platform is super modern. It's very, very flexible. So as customers come on board, there tends to be a lot of customizations that we can do to meet your needs. So really important to us. And for those of you still here, I don't want to keep you too long between now and your break, we are offering 3 free months of Attentive email. If you want to scan that QR code, we'll leave it up for the rest of the break here. But yeah, hoping to talk to you all. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to chat. Thanks, everyone.